Have you ever noticed that some thoughts show up with the confidence of an emergency broadcast, but with the actual importance of a toothpaste commercial? One thought says, you should worry about this immediately. Another one says, let's revisit that embarrassing thing that happened to us 11 years ago. Still another thought might say, what if everything falls apart by Thursday? What are we going to do? And then somewhere in the back, nostalgia is trying to sell you a reunion tour with a version of your life that no longer exists. And that's the idea. Not every thought is guidance. Not every feeling is truth. Not every emotional spike is an instruction for your body to follow. Some of them are just commercials. Your mind, your body, and your nervous system is running the main program. It's called your life. It's your present. It's your actual experience that is happening now. Commercials are interruptions of the main program. And your thoughts, your old fears, old regrets, they break into that broadcast of your present life. They can be loud, they can be dramatic, they're emotional, occasionally manipulative. They usually are very convincing, and they convince you of their own importance, that they need your attention. But they're not the program. They're not the truth. Somehow they got scheduled by your mind to interrupt the main program of your life, of your present. And here's where a lot of us get stuck. Not just in having the thought itself, but in replaying it. Because when you keep rewinding the same thought in your mind, you're no longer just being interrupted. Now you're participating in the interruption. You're giving it a private encore, right? What if I failed? What if they were right? What if I missed my chance? What if I blew it? What if it never comes back again? What if I should check that feeling one more time just to make sure I'm still mad about it, right? And that's a big one. Life is trying to continue. Reality is still happening in real time, and your attention is in the living room of your own mind, rewatching a commercial like it contains the secrets of the universe. But it usually doesn't. It just postpones your actual life, and that is the cost. It's like your program is running and you keep rewinding a commercial. You keep rewinding it and keep rewinding it and keep rewinding it. Meanwhile, the program is still going on. The problem isn't that these thoughts appear. The problem is that we treat them like they're orders, like they're commands. We believe because a thought is loud, it must be true. Because it is emotional, it must be important. Because if it repeats, it must deserve my undivided attention. There's a reason I'm having this thought, right? Most of us aren't even aware of that much. We're just, having these thoughts, and we allow ourselves to get pulled out of that main program into a commercial. But commercials repeat. That doesn't make them the plot of your life. And this is the thing most people never get told. Attention is not the same thing as obedience. Think about the commercial you didn't ask for, you can't skip it, and somehow you memorized it anyway. The one that plays in your head at 2 a.m. or all day at work for a product you will never buy. You know every word of it, you know the song if there is one, and you hate that you do. That's an unwanted loop. That doesn't mean you're broken. You just got a very persistent ad in your thought patterns. Maybe it's urgency, maybe it's guilt, maybe it's self-doubt, maybe it's anxiety. Maybe it's the deluxe family pack of regret that you can't set down and can't quit thinking about. Some thoughts should honestly come with just a little button in the side that says skip ad in 5 seconds. Wouldn't that be wonderful? None of this work would be necessary if we could actually do that, right? But some people have been living in the commercial break for years, waiting for life to resume. But they don't realize that the program never actually stops. Our life doesn't stop when our commercial interruption thoughts break in, right? It seems like they do because we're pulled either forward or back, or we're taken out of the present and just focusing internally on what those thoughts are. And we can still be working. We can still be having the television on. We can even still be having a conversation, or at least a half-assed one, with somebody else. But really, we're not present, not fully, because we're stuck in this mental or emotional loop. What I like to tell you is you don't have to obey every thought that appears. You don't have to hand authority over to every feeling that arises in you. You don't have to promote every internal ad to executive producer of the moment of your life. You are allowed to have a thought without serving it a beverage and asking to sit down for a couple of hours. You are allowed to recognize an interruption without turning it into the feature presentation. And here's a deeper layer for those of you who are ready for it. The commercial didn't write itself, right? It got scheduled because at some point, your nervous system decided that it was important information. And that's not a character flaw, that's a survival strategy. You can honor that without staying loyal to the loop itself. Attention is not the same thing as obedience. You are not required to serve what you notice. So the next time you catch yourself spiraling, replaying, or mentally re-airing the same thought, when you catch yourself rewinding that commercial interruption, that commercial break, pause and ask yourself, is this the program or is this just a commercial running? And that's it. That's the whole move. So just notice, come back to your body, come back to reality, come back to the room, come back to the actual objective and focus on your present. What were you doing? What are you doing? Focus on that. Go back to the main program of your life that's waiting for you. And it's not really waiting for you, it's moving. Life keeps moving, whether we want it to or not. The time goes by fast, and sometimes we waste so much time, so much energy, so much of our life force just replaying these commercials over and over again. And like I had mentioned, a lot of these commercials are some things we don't even want to put our attention to or our energy to. It's a stupid commercial. I hate this commercial. I wish this commercial would finally get off the air. But that's the sneaky thing. You have the power to do that in your own mind by awareness and by noticing what type of thought is coming in, and then you can skip that. You can pause it. You can delete that commercial over time with a little bit of work. Because freedom isn't having no thoughts. Freedom is knowing which ones just don't get the remote and they don't get control of your life. And I thank you for being here in this guidance post with me. I am M. Everett K., your host, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.